Hello, hello. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach, and I want to welcome you to another episode of the Heartline. I am so excited to have you here today. I'm so excited about today's topic because it is so important for us to build heart equity. That's what we're talking about. That's what we do here on the Heartline. And what heart equity is personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living. That is what our goal is. That's why we do the Heartline. Myself and our amazing guests that we've had, we're all focused on building heart equity in our personal lives, in our relationships, in our finances. We want to live authentically and see what that beautiful fruit looks like in our lives. I'm so excited about today's topic for today's show because I'm going to explain to you why it's so important for you to build heart equity. Why it's so important for you to build heart equity. And how we're going to get to that is I want to let you know how we got here. So me being the heart coach, as I've been talking to you all, we started Heart Talk back in September 1st of 2014. So this year made 9 years that we've been doing Heart Talk. And Heart Talk is when we come together to have authentic conversation, to confront matters of the heart, emotional, spiritual, mental issues that are really impacting our emotions and how we feel and about life and view life. And then we find solutions and how we can live better. And I didn't realize when I started Heart Talk the type of movement that it was going to be. So we started Heart Talk, and on Heart Talk, we're doing heart work. You may hear me refer to it as heart work. You know, when you were in school, you did what they call homework. Well, we do heart work. We really work on our hearts. The Bible tells us that guard your heart because out of it flows the issues of life. The wisest man in the world, Solomon, he told us that in Proverbs chapter 4. And so I believe that the Lord has given me a gift and a mandate to help myself and others around this universe heal their hearts so that they can authentically transform their lives and the lives of those around them. I truly believe that when we live authentically on purpose, we transform every environment that we find ourselves in. So I just want to let you know that this heart work is very important for us to do because when we do heart work, it builds heart equity. And heart equity is this idea of when you really work on your heart, you confront your emotions because your heart is you have your physical heart in your body, but in your physical heart, it's almost like when you do your research, it's like there's another heart there. But it's your spirit, it's your spiritual heart, it's your soul. It is what makes you you. We all are human beings, right? We're three part. We're all human beings. So you have a physical part of you, what people can see, right? Then you have a spiritual part of you. That's what gives you breath and life. That's God breathing life into you. That's why you're alive and you have a pulse. And then you have your soul. Well, some refer to it as your heart and your mind. And what that is when your physical body mixes with your spirit, your beautiful soul is made, a unique soul that has never been before, will never be again. And this houses all of your desires, all of your beliefs, all of your fears, all of your worries, all of your likes, all of your dislikes. That is in your heart. That's what makes you you. Just like you're identified by your fingerprint, we all have a different fingerprint, right? They say no two snowflakes have the same pattern, no two zebras have the same pattern. Where am I going with this? You are so unique. That's where your heart comes in. Your heart is unique. The Lord has created you with a air of creativity that only you have. You have a uniqueness that you bring to the world that only you can do. And that is the heart equity I'm talking about. You have uniqueness inside of you. There is something important about you. And God has called me to be the heart coach, to do heart work so we can build heart equity so that we can authentically transform the world. There is so much artificial intelligence going on in our world right now, and we are not very clear about what we're supposed to be doing on an authentic level. However, I'm inviting you to join me on this building this heart equity movement because it is important for us to create personal health and wealth, relational health and wealth, financial health and wealth through authentic living. Yes, you see people advancing, but a lot of people are not advancing by being honest, by being true, by being real. And you know what the problem with that is? When you sow seeds of inauthenticity, when you sow seeds of dishonesty, when you sow seeds of discord, you're going to reap that fruit. I came here for us to start sowing seeds that are going to produce a harvest that we want to live. That's why you need to go to the workshops. That's why you need to sign up for the masterclass. That's why you need to sign up for the coaching program because that's how you're going to build heart equity. Like you're not going to do it out here trying to stand alone, trying to figure things out on your own, which is what I wanted to talk to you about today. So I know what it's like to be out here trying to figure out life. You trying to hustle, you trying to make it happen because you're trying to support your family. Maybe you're the one, right? You're the one that's trying to make a difference. You're the one that got out of that dire situation. And now you're trying to make a change. Now you're trying to be different. I did that. I'm still doing that. But the reason why I had to change my life and stop being so independent and trying to figure it out on my own and not asking for help and not allowing people to support me, not being honest about how I feel, where I am, what I'm going through, because I was ashamed of how people may view me. I went through that because I was living in such a poverty mindset. And so when you think about building heart equity, let's first think about what is personal poverty. When we think about heart equity and we build personal wealth, well, if you don't have personal wealth, you living in personal poverty. So what is that? That's when you down, you depressed. You don't have a good relationship with God. You're not practicing mindfulness. You're not practicing healthy spiritual practices. You're not exercising. You're not eating right. You're not acknowledging how you feel. When you are experiencing personal poverty, you are always very independent. You're very controlling. You're not allowing outside support to come in and help you move your mission along. You're going to figure it out. When people ask you how you're doing, you say you're okay when you're not okay. That's a sign that you're in personal poverty. You have to do everything by yourself. You putting together an event, people offer you help, you don't receive it. You're building something in your life and your career, your business, you trying to figure something out. You don't invite people in. You go and do all the research yourself. You do it all by yourself. And I understand that faith without works is dead. But you and I both know that you're operating in personal poverty when you're doing that and not allowing people in that God has called you to allow in. And it's lonely and it doesn't feel good. And on top of that, a lot of times when we're operating out of personal poverty, then another thing is we believe that God is angry or upset with us in some way, shape, or form. But we feel it on the inside, but we just don't come out and tell the truth about it. So what we do is we try to overcompensate. We try to perform. We try to people please, right? That's a sign of personal poverty. You always got to figure it out. You can't ever allow somebody else in. And then that goes into relational poverty, right? If you're always overextended, right? If you're always the one that's giving all you have and doing the most to support support everybody else. If that's always you, but then you walk away feeling like, well, I'm always there for them, but they're not there for me, you're operating in relational poverty. And you're not building heart equity, you're in a deficit. When you're operating in personal poverty, you're not building heart equity, you're in a deficit. And when you operate in a deficit, you bring that deficit in every environment you find yourself in. Let me be clear. It is not cute for you to be out here doing things with and for people and you feel underappreciated. You feel like you're doing it because you don't want them to be upset. You don't want them to be disappointed. You don't want them to think that you're angry with them. So you're being dishonest about how you feel. You're being dishonest about how you showing up. You're operating in relational poverty. And I want to help you through this. That's one of the reasons why we're hosting these monthly master classes, because it is crucial for you to stop making excuses to operate in poverty. Because a lot of times we like to think of poverty strictly from a financial standpoint. But no, you are operating in poverty when you deal with yourself. You are not loving yourself the right way. You are not investing in yourself. You are not moving your body. You are not investing in the right foods and the right supplements to keep yourself healthy. Maybe you're living in a situation that is not conducive for you. But because it's you, and you're really good at keeping secrets and you're really good at letting people in just enough, but keeping them at bay so they don't really know what's going on, you have convinced yourself that this is okay. This is not okay. I have come to sound the alarm. Ring, ring, ring. You have to start investing in yourself. You cannot be sitting around waiting for somebody to see your value and to see your worth. Right? Another sign of relational poverty is always in relationships that have drama going on. If you find yourself in relationship with someone where the bulk of your time with this person is spent arguing, always in disagreement, there is poverty in that situation that needs to be addressed. If you always got mix up going on, like we say in Charleston, it's always some type of confusion, always some type of conflict. You're operating in relational poverty. If you feel inadequate in your relationships, especially if you're in a relationship with someone that is making you feel like, well, not making you feel like, but accusing you of not being enough for them, not being enough in the relationship, that could be a sign that you're operating in relational poverty. You always feel like you're being taken advantage of, or you never come out on top. That's a sign that you're operating in relational poverty. I want you to understand that it doesn't matter if this is how your parents were. This is what you saw growing up. This is what you have accepted to be normal up until this time. I am now telling you, you can no longer accept these behaviors and those that are similar. I've given you examples, but maybe I'm giving you examples, and right now, this does not necessarily relate to you, but you're thinking of some other things that are coming up in your spirit, in your heart right now, that are resonating with you when I think about relational poverty. If you're in a clique of mean girls or mean guys, like in the movie, those high school cliques, it's so many adults still moving around in their adulthood, just like we still in high school. I've been out of high school for 22 years. I don't have time for cliques. I don't have time to be getting with one person or getting with a group of girls so we can gang up on another girl because one of us is upset that My our boyfriend liked her, but I see it happening all the time. Relational poverty. If when you get together with your friends or your family and all y'all do is talk about other people, you are operating in relational poverty. If you feel uncomfortable and guilty and just utter dread when you hang around people that you used to love to be around, it could be friends or family, you're operating in relational poverty, and it is time for you to make a change. I made up in my mind, I don't care if I get one view or a million views. I'm going to keep talking about building heart equity because I daily throughout the day come across people who are struggling in their families. They are struggling in their relationship with themselves. They are struggling in their relationship with those that they want the most. But it's a struggle. Why? Because they are impoverished. They don't have anything in their bank to build the equity in their heart bank to build the heart equity that they need. You have made so many withdrawals and have not made enough deposits, and now you're depleted. And guess what? It's spilling out over into your environments, into your family, into your workplace, into your career, into your business, into your dreams, into your vision. You don't even dream like you used to dream because you've been disappointed so much. But the only reason why you've been disappointed is because you refuse to change. You refuse to set boundaries. You refuse to do something new. You keep going at the same thing, expecting a different result. That is not work. That is insanity. And you're not insane, but you also got to tell yourself the truth and stop acting like you don't know what you know. You know they aren't good for you. You know it's time for a new position. You know it's time to move. You know it's time to change. You know you're not supposed to get that divorce, but you're going after it anyway. But then you, on the other hand, know you're supposed to get the divorce, but you're going to stay and suffer and cause you and your family to suffer because you're afraid of what people are going to say about you. I know this is for somebody. We're talking about why it's important to build heart equity. This is how you get one step closer to peaceful living. This is how you get one step closer to authentic living. You got to do the work, the heart work. Out of the heart flows the issues of life. Your heart represents your emotions. Your emotions drive your thoughts. Whatever you believe is going to drive your behaviors. Whatever you believe is going to drive your actions. Whatever you believe comes out of your heart. Your feelings impact your beliefs. If you're not willing to deal with your feelings, then you're not willing to ever live your life to the fullest potential. You're going to always feel inadequate. Why? Because you're not acknowledging a part of you. You want people to keep it real with you. You want people to be loyal to you. You want people to hold it down and invest in you, and you won't do it for yourself. Think about that. Think about that. Yes, what I'm asking you to do, yes, it's hard. I've tried for years. I played small. I was in personal poverty, relational poverty, and financial poverty because I was playing small. I was trying to find an easier way to show you how to do this hard work and build heart equity. But guess what? There isn't an easy way. But the things that come easy are never really worth it, are they? Everything worth having is worth building. When a woman finds out that she is pregnant, you don't find out you're pregnant and you have the baby the next day. It's a process. And you have to go through that process. And it's a lot of unknowns and it's a lot of ups and downs. But once you go through that process and the time is right over a period of a long time, not really, but when you're pregnant, a lot of times that's how it feels. Then you have this beautiful life that's birthed out of that. But there was a process that went into that. And your birthing, whatever your birthing, is worth the process that you need to go through to get there. You want to get one step to living peacefully? You want to be able to sleep at night? You want your stomach to stop bothering you and to stop having these GI issues and your skin is breaking out and you going to the doctor and nothing is working? It's because you have a heart issue that is going on that you are not dealing with. That heart issue is impacting how you're eating. That heart issue is impacting how you're taking care of yourself. That heart issue is impacting what's going on in your relationships. That heart issue is impacting your finances. So, what are some signs of financial poverty? You never feel like you have enough money. Even if you're making the money, you know what I've found? A lot of people have money and make money, but they still feel inadequate and they live and work and breathe as if they are completely impoverished and don't have it. It's like it's stressful not having money, but I see a lot of people that have money or have established some type of financial um cushion, I would say, some type of savings. And then there's this anxiety and fear and worry of losing it. So you have it, but you can't enjoy it because you're so concerned about losing it because you don't want to go back where you came from, but you're missing out on where you are now and where you could go. You're minimizing that because you're so worried and anxious about what you have now. That's financial poverty. Fear of losing what you have. That's financial poverty. Selfishness, not wanting to give to others, not wanting to serve those in need with what you have. That's a sign of financial poverty. Always sabotaging yourself, not properly managing your finances is a sign of poverty. And understand that wealth is not just about money. Money is a form of currency, but your financial wealth can be tied up in many other ways other than money. The most valuable thing you have is your heart, is the uniqueness about you that makes you you. When your heart and mind is working together in a healthy way, that is the most valuable thing on the planet. You can't even put a dollar amount on you being you. When you are in your zone and doing what God has called you to do, you can't even put a dollar amount on that. You can't do it. It's so amazing. It's so awesome. That's what God is doing right now in your life. Trying to do something exceeding and abundantly above all you can ask or think or hope for. But you around here wanting to hold on to poverty instead of embracing the equity that comes from doing the hard work. We understand equity in real estate, right? When you own a property, equity is the difference between what you owe on your mortgage, if you have mortgage, and what the property is worth. The difference between that is what your equity is. You build equity. We hear that in the financial industry, when you talk about annuities and investments and dividends and stocks and bonds and all of those things. And then you build and generate equity. You even hear the term sweat equity, right? When people build, they form some type of currency, a lot of times a financial currency through the work, the physical work that they're doing. That's the sweat equity. Well, heart equity is a form of sweat equity, but it is you working out your heart. It is you being honest about how you feel and what you think and how you're experiencing life, and then making decisions and acting on those decisions based on the authenticity of how you feel and what you think and how you're viewing life. Heart equity is asking you to live life authentically. And we hear a lot about diversity and inclusion and equity, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And a lot of people don't understand that. But equity is in the simplest form that I can explain equity, right? When we think about building heart equity, because people are in different places, in different spaces in their lives and in their journey of healing, right? Because we all have to heal. Just like your body has to relieve waste every time you eat and drink, your body is designed to relieve waste from what you ate and what you drink. So every day you go through life experiencing life, you need to relieve the emotional, mental, spiritual waste of what you have digested throughout the day. And that's what doing heart work does. Heart work relieves the waste of your life experiences, right? And as you relieve that waste and you're taking on the nutrients of what you gain, that's why we don't take losses. It's always a lesson, it's a learning opportunity, right? Because we're always building heart equity. So when you think about equity, think about it like this. In my family, I remember when I was really learning about equity and what justice is, and I was learning that God is a just God. He is not a fair God. God does not operate off of fairness. He operates off of justice. He operates off of equity. And I remember one night I was fixing my plate and I heard, I think a pastor explain this, but as he was explaining it, and I fixed dinner that night, and I was fixing a plate for my husband and our children and myself, and I got it. It made so much sense to me. So as I was fixing that plate, right, I had at the time, it was 5 of us eating dinner together on this particular night. And so I'm fixing the plate. Now, when I'm fixing the plate with my husband in mind, when I've set my intention on fixing my husband's plate, then I fix a certain portion, right? Because my husband has a certain appetite that he's going to eat. And typically, when I fix his plate, I know how much he's going to eat. And I'm pretty proud of saying this. And I usually, when I fix his plate, I fix enough to where he doesn't have to go back for seconds unless he really, really wants some more. Usually, I fix him a plate that's equitable for him. It's not fair, it's equitable, right? Then when I fix my plate, I fix what I want and what I desire. And that's equitable for me. Typically, what is on my plate is less than what's on my husband's plate. Significantly less, to the point where you can look at the plate and tell that his plate has more than my plate, right? He has a bigger appetite than I do in this particular setting. So equitably, I gave him more on his plate. So now I fix a plate for my oldest daughter, and now I fix her plate. Now her plate has a little bit more than my plate, but it still has less than my husband's plate. Now I fix a plate for my oldest son. His plate has more than my daughter, more than me, but right about where his dad is, right? And then I fix a plate for my youngest son. This particular night, my younger daughter wasn't there for dinner, but I fix a plate for my younger son, and his plate was significantly less than what all of us had, and he didn't have any rice because we Geechee people. One thing about the Gullah Geechee people, if you haven't heard of us, that's why you might hear this accent in my voice. I am not Caribbean or African. Well, those African descent, of course. However, I am a Gullah Geechee girl, native of Charleston, South Carolina, Georgetown, South Carolina, and all areas in between by way of my family. But we like to eat rice. That's a custom in our culture. We eat a lot of rice. And typically, when we eat dinner at night, at least 80% of our meals involve some type of rice. But my youngest son does not like rice, and it's fine. He doesn't have to have it. However, his plate was significantly less than everybody's plate. But when we sat down at the table, nobody felt like they were not treated fairly because they didn't have the same amount that daddy had. And neither did everybody have the same amount that Christopher had, because we were operating justly. When I fixed their plates, I fixed their plates through justice. I fixed their plates equitably, which means that I gave them the portion that was right for them. When we are doing hard work and we're building hard equity, you have to understand that you are doing the work that in the portions that are right for you in that season. As I started doing hard work and building hard equity in my family, I went through some serious seasons of having to be just, and it did not look fair. But God does not operate in fairness. When I was not talking to my father, not in communication with my mother, when I had to set boundaries and shift the relationships that I had as far as friendships and how I was going about myself and my marriage, I was very out of line and very out of order as a wife because I was trying to do things fairly. I was not understanding what justice looked like in my marriage and what living equitably looked like as a mother, as a wife. And as I started to do the hard work and embrace this calling on my life of this is who I called you to be. I called you to encourage others, to uplift others, to lead and guide others so that they can build personal, relational, financial wealth through authentic living. And that's why heart equity is so important, because when you're building heart equity, it's the right portion for you. When I was going through what personal poverty is and relational poverty is and financial poverty is, everybody who hears that is going to have a different situation in their lives. But guess what? The work that we do still works, and it applies to you. The steps that we go through in the heart incubator, the 6-step transformational process that transformed my lives and the hundreds of individuals I've been working with over the years, we're building heart equity. Just like you build equity in your property, just like my house has equity in it. But my equity, even though my neighbor lives on the same street and has what we call in real estate a comparable house, an equitable house, the equity we have in our homes are different. Why? Because our homes are different homes. No two properties are exactly the same. I don't know her financial situation. I don't know how much she may or may not own in her house, but I know it could be similar, but it's not the same. Because when you're building equity, it is dealing with you and how you're showing up. If you're a leader in an organization and you're thinking about being just and being equitable, you can't worry about what everybody else is doing around you. You have to be led through authenticity to deal with people in a just way, in an equitable way. One size does not fit all. And if you're going to be an effective leader within yourself, within your home, within your community, within your career, within your business, you're going to have to operate in heart equity. You're going to have to be authentic. You're going to have to deal with people on a case by case basis. Why? Because that's how God has called you to. Even with me putting systems in place, I understand this 6-step process works when you work it, right? But I also understand that the way that it works looks different in each and every person that decides to go through this process. Just like I fixed that meal and we all had the same foods on our plate, but we had different portions and we ate it in different ways. When I put that food on my husband's plate, on my plate, on my children's plate, we all ate it in a different way. When my children sit down and they eat their food, a lot of times especially my oldest daughter, my oldest son, they will really sit down and dress their food. I'll just start eating. I want my vegetable on top of my rice. Somebody else might want their vegetable on the side of their rice. Chris don't even want rice. Somebody wants gravy. Somebody else don't want gravy. You have to do your work and tailor it to your life and understand that as you build heart equity, you are transforming and increasing the value of your environment. Your heart, your spirit exceeds your physical body. That's why you can feel people when you're not touching people. So when you go and you go out, understand that people see you, people feel your heart, and people see you before they see you. This physical body, y'all are mistaken that you think you are as big as this physical body. No, that's why you can feel the aura of a person. Your heart far exceeds your physical being. This is why you need to build heart equity, because you don't know what's going on in your environments. Just when you come in a room, you change the room. Darkness is shut out by the light. You are the light. When you build heart equity, what you are doing is increasing the wattage in the light that is you. This is how you get one step closer to living peacefully. The reason why you're not living peacefully is because you're not being real. You trying to be fair. You trying to keep everybody else happy. It's not going to work for everybody. It's going to work for them, but they're going to have to work it. Like the Bible tells us, Philippians 2:12 or 2:15, work out your salvation through fear and trembling. I don't care how you do it. You're going to have to work it out. And guess what? It's going to cause some fear and trembling. I'm just passionate about this, y'all. I played small for too long. I could have been out here consistently doing the pod every week, like keeping the Heart Talk live. I've been doing Heart Talk, but I pulled back. I had to gain clarity. I had to build my personal equity. I had to build my relational equity. I had to build my financial equity. I had to build my heart equity. I had to be more real. Me doing this, me talking to you, this is authentic living. And we got some more amazing things going on. I'm so excited to announce that, like, God is, we are making moves in the name of building heart equity. We want everyone to get experience to this healing, this enlightenment. The Bible tells us, guard your heart because out of it flows the issues of life. This heart equity, when you create and build heart equity, it is a guard around your heart. Heart equity guards your heart. It is a safeguard against your heart being broken beyond repair. It allows you to be honest and you can stop pretending like you don't know how great you are, because you are. It's important. You matter. Your gift has already made room for you, but you have to activate that gift. And I understand why. I know you've been rejected. I know you've been abandoned. I know you messed up before and you afraid. And I know you lost money. And I know you feel like you wasted money and you wasted time and people did you wrong and you confided in people and they turned their back on you, and you still worthy, and you're still worth it, and you still need to press forward, and you still need to do what God has called you to do. It's important. You matter. That's why I want you to build heart equity. That's why I want you to register for our monthly master's class. That's why I want you to sign up for the upcoming domestic healing. We are taking back our communities from domestic violence. Yes, the book writing workshop we have coming up, road to approval. You guys are going to hear more about all of these things that I'm talking about, because I am so committed to building heart equity. And I know this isn't for everybody, but if this message resonates with you, I am inviting you to invest in the movement. We are building heart equity. We are working with the youth. We are working with the parents. We are working with the business community. Why? We understand that this is this movement has to be collective. We are all hurting. We are all going through things. We are all dealing with challenges, and we have to support one another. We have to build heart equity. We have to make a change in our communities, and it starts with the individual. It starts with you. Yes, you. You. It starts with you. I'm talking to you. God has given each one of us a unique ability. It's a poem I love called Equipment. Go look it up. Figure it out for yourself, my lad. You have all that the greatest of men have had: two hands, two arms, two legs, two eyes, and a brain to use if you would be wise. With this equipment, they all began. So start from the top and say, I can. Look them out over the wise and the great. They take their food from a common plate. With similar knives and forks they use, with similar laces they tie their shoes. The world considers them brave and smart, but you have all they had when they made their start. Go read it. It's an amazing poem because it's the truth. You already have it. Anybody you can look at and you think is great, it's only because you're seeing a reflection of yourself in them. Now, in order for you to see that realized in your natural life, I'm inviting you to join the Heart Equity Movement so we can build heart equity together. That's where you're going to get that discipline, that consistency, that determination. And let's be honest, you tried to do it by yourself. You tried to figure it out by yourself. You've been doing it like that for a long time. Or you might jump in and out of a group. You might jump in and out of letting people support. But when they start getting difficult or hard to deal with, you back up. I know. Trust me, I know. Because that has been me. But I also understand and know and have enjoyed the value of being in a loving, supportive, challenging, accountability community. And it has brought about amazing transformation in my life and the lives of everyone I've come into contact with because I chose to submit to the process. I decided that a change had to come and it was going to come through me. No more are we going to be sitting around waiting on other people to come and save us or make a difference. It's on us. And we make that change by investing in our heart bank. And we do that by doing hard work and building heart equity. It's important. I'm here every Monday at noon. Why? Because we're building heart equity. We have the monthly masters class. Why? Because we're building heart equity. We have some other amazing opportunities coming up for you to get on board and stop doing life by yourself. Stop trying to build everything by yourself. It's hard to build alone. Why don't you build with a community that is very like minded and focus on seeing our world change from the inside out? Seeing our communities change from the inside out. People talking about buy back the block. You got to buy back your heart. You got to take back what was stole from you. And how you going to do that? You going to build heart equity. I'm excited. I'm excited for us to be together. But this is how you going to get one step closer to peaceful living. You have to build heart equity, personal, relational, financial wealth through authentic living. You have to commit to being real. That means you're going to have to commit to telling the truth about how you feel and what your experiences are, what your intentions are, what your motives are, why you doing what you doing, why you been doing what you doing. I know that you started doing it out of pain, but you don't have to keep it like that. You don't have to stay that way. And I want to support you and show you how. So stay connected. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel at sign Heart Coach Talk. One word, Heart Coach Talk. Make sure you subscribe. If this show has helped you, please share with anyone that you know that can benefit from building heart equity. And just join the movement. Sign up for the master's class. We have options for virtual and in person. You have a VIP experience. You have the completely virtual experience. The purpose is to consistently provide resources for you to transform your life authentically. We're watching people transform and it's not authentic and it's not working out well for them. I want it to work out well for you. Your family needs it. Your community needs it. But most of all, you need it. You sleep better at night. You love yourself more when you being more honest and authentic in how you're expressing yourself. God loves you, and so do I. So it's time for us to build heart equity together. I'm excited. I think this is good for this week. Think about where you have personal poverty, relational poverty, financial poverty, and let's work on doing your heart work so you can get the joy and the beauty of what authentic living really looks like. I keep talking about this. I'm going to say this and I'm going to close. There was a time that I prayed for God to help me to not ever be around my mother. I didn't want to be around her because every time we got together, it was always an argument, always a fuss, always tension. And I feel like both of us reminded each other of all the ways we had messed up or failed or been disappointed or mistreated or rejected or abandoned and all of the other things that could go along with a strained or a strange relationship with your parent. But what I can say is over the past 10, 12 years of doing consistent hard work, my mother and I have developed a relationship that has really blown my mind. It really has. Do we still argue or go back and forth? I wouldn't say we argue. We can have our disagreements, but I can honestly say my mom is one of my best friends now. And she's one of my best friends because I committed to building heart equity. She committed to building heart equity. And this hasn't just impacted us, it has literally impacted our entire family. It has impacted our community because both of us have done impactful work in the community as a result of the intimate, impactful, challenging, heart wrenching, painstaking work that we've done individually with each other and with God on our side in our spiritual practices and our mindfulness techniques and just how we do our heart work. But there was a time that I could walk past my mother on the street and not say a word. It has happened. And it's a lot of people out there that think you could never find restoration in your relationships. You will never get rid of that diagnosis. You will never be able to sleep easy and not have to worry about money. And I just want to let you know that that is not the truth. That is a lie. And if you're willing to commit to doing the heart work, making the heart connections with us in the heart tribe and our heart community, make those connections. Do the heart work. You will start to see heart equity built in your life, and it multiplies exponentially. But you have to commit. You have to be willing to do the work. When I first got started, it used to hurt my feelings when I got rejected. People didn't want to sign up, or people didn't understand what I was talking about with doing heart work and what is heart work and just everything associated with that. But after doing this now consistently for, well, shoot, 15 years, because since 2006, what's that? 2006, 20, I don't know, 17? Oh gosh, 17 years since I started to text messages. I understand this isn't for everybody. The Heartline, this show isn't for everybody. At Heart Coach Talk, the channel on YouTube, my content, the heart connections, all that stuff, it isn't for everybody. But those that it is for, we're going to transform the world together. We're going to do it authentically. We're going to go through the ups and downs together. Anytime you commit to something new, disruption is going to come. We're going to go through that together. Why? Because God has created us for a unique purpose. And I truly believe that my purpose is intertwined in supporting you as you bring your purpose to light, from darkness to light, from obscurity to popularity, and what God is calling you to do. It's important. You matter. We matter. Let's build some heart equity together. I want to leave you with this thought. When you master your heart, you master your life. Let's master your heart together. It's time to build some heart equity. Love y'all. See you next time. Adelai Brown, your heart coach, signing out.